And we are live. Welcome, everybody. I'm a little bit under the weather. I have some sort of flu, so if I look a little bit drowsy, please forgive me. I'm a little bit sick, and maybe you can also hear it in my voice, but I did not want to postpone this live Q&A because I love doing them. And I have a really, nice subject. Maybe it's not the right word, but a very important subject. I'm going to talk about how to say goodbye to hello. And I'm not really getting into why we should say goodbye to hello because I have a lot of videos about that. And hopefully we know by now that saying goodbye to hello is better. But I'm going to talk about how to say goodbye in three different scenarios, in three different situations. Situation one is when you are friends with a low. Number two is a situation where you have this undefined limerent mess, this one sided, maybe narcissistic, breadcrumbing, avoidant kind of limerence. Then we have a different scenario. And we have number three, which are the mutual limerence. If you have questions, hi Sissy, cat mommy. If you have questions, please put them in caps and I will all answer them because I love that. I also have a letter, by the way. At the end, I will share a letter with you that fits the subject. Okay, diving. Wrong planet. Number two. Yeah, which number are you? I was number two, for sure. Diving right in the first. When this is, I have my notes with me, and I'm sorry, manager. I know you don't want me to read from my notes here, but I did not, since I've been sick this week, I did not have the time to figure out a better system than just to read my notes. Forgive me. Okay, number one, when you are friends with somebody, you owe them a little bit of explanation, right? I mean, nobody likes to be ghosted. Tell or write them that you really appreciate the friendship, but that your feelings involve more than just platonic friendship, and that it's better for you to lay low for a while and you wish it would be different, but it's not, and that you have to do this. I mean, how mature is this? You're being totally honest. It's all true. You're full of integrity and you're clear and transparent. There's nothing weird with giving an explanation or a text or in a conversation to say something like this. There's nothing weird about that. Okay, number two. And most limerence fall in this category. The breadcrumbing, one-sided, narcissistic, unfulfilled, crazy-making situationships. Yes. When these people don't want to be with you, but yet they don't want to let you go or keep you around in this some sort of vague and undefined contact. And then you keep it short and simple. By the way, if you have benefit from my videos, you can consider supporting me. I have a community here on YouTube where I shower you with extras, and you also support me on my quest. Okay, what you can write or say is, hey, I notice that this contact is not healthy for me, so I will stop this. I will not contact you anymore, and I'll ask you not to contact me anymore. Thank you for this respect, and I wish you all the best. Point. Short, simple. It's also respectful, by the way. It's clear, it's not too emotional, and it's also very true. It's very true. Um, like this, you also give them instructions in what to do, like leave you alone, finally. This is a very healthy message in a healthy, unhealthy situation. And if you tell them that you will not contact them anymore, you kind of have to hold yourself accountable for that. So you will think twice if you want to change your mind and pop in again. So you set the threshold a little bit higher to contact them again, which is very good. I mean, we don't want to be the person that says, oh, I'm not going to contact you anymore and I don't want you to contact me anymore, and then pop in 3 days later saying hi. We don't want to be that one. So you can hold yourself a little more accountable when you say, I will not contact you anymore. Okay, questions. How to say goodbye to a famous or idol artist, someone you don't know personally. Yeah, the parasocial relationships, that's how we call them. I made a video on that. Of course, you don't write them this text, but you can write this text for yourself, and you decide that you don't want to be in limerence with this person anymore. And then when you decide this, either if you write this text for yourself, and send it, not really send it to them or not, the process is the same as any other limerent. You grieve because your nervous system thinks that this is a really important person, even though you never met them. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. Your nervous system is attached to this person, so you're allowed to grieve. You grieve, and then you slowly will start to feel better, and you will pick up your life again. So the parasocial relationship is nothing different, except that you don't actually send this text to them than the other relationships. What if my allo is my co-worker mentor? How do I say goodbye? Good questions. There are so many people whose allo is a co-worker. Well, that depends. I mean, if you developed something out of the work situation, some sort of friendship, then there's nothing wrong with telling them, okay, I noticed that this, outside the work place situation is not really healthy for me, so I want to lay low and keep the contact more professional. There's nothing wrong with that. If you say, yeah, that would be completely weird because we don't have this kind of relationship, then you don't say it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to disclose to them, but then you decide this for yourself. Okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. So that depends a little bit. You can decide if this is, if you have something going on a little bit more than just, being co-workers that see each other in a meeting, then it's perfectly fine to give them this message. It's, like I said, you're full of integrity. It's mature. It's clear. It's also very true. Is there any point to say goodbye to Merlot, even if you've been on contact for 30 days now after he hasn't responded my last message? Yes, Pink May can. Yes, I think so. Because you also do this for you. Instead of sitting and waiting for them to maybe contact you again and then you give the message, you can be proactive. Because being proactive is a huge protection against limerence. So yes, of course you can. And I don't know how the contact was. I mean, you decide this. But I think you being proactive, you taking control, you deciding what kind of contact you want in your life and what kind of contact isn't good enough for you. Being proactive, good for you. Yes, you can. Sadly, I went to cigarettes for a little while and I had to force myself to stop. Yeah, I'm trying to replace my addiction with limerence with an addiction to Fana's videos. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of normal to have a transition phase after you decided to go no contact. I mean, we have to grab on something. When the limerence phase, your urgency to watch all these videos and watch me all day will also calm down. I mean, it's not like when you're out of limerence in 10 years, you're still watching my videos. I mean, why would you? So if this is a transitional phase, it's less harmless to watch videos than to smoke cigarettes. Be a little bit aware of the videos that promise you to attract your specific person or get your ex back videos, because it can prolong your limerence and it can suck you also a little bit back in. But having something not too damaging as a transition in your grief, there's not so much wrong with that. Okay, here we go. We have another category. I have another target audience, the mutual limerence, the Romeo and Juliets against us. The people who are pulling each other in, even though they want to end the suffering, we also really, really want the other to pull us back in so we can continue to feel like we have this amazing special bond and we cannot live without each other. Now, this needs a different approach. This needs burning the bridge. Oh, yeah. Take the romance out of this toxic addiction, because that's what it is. This is not romantic. This is painful suffering. Yeah, people, there's nothing romantic about limerence. Nothing. It's painful. It's a painful addiction. Now, this approach comes from Alain Robarge. He is my hero here on YouTube. He is the best relationship educator out there. And he described a way to burn the bridge when you are in this push and pull dynamic and this makes you crazy and you want to get out. Of course, I'm giving the advice to people who want to stop this. I gave it my own limerence twist because Alan does not really talk about limerence, but he talks about attachment wounds, which is kind of the same. So here you will have to be brutally honest. Hey, I've been doing this on again, off again, push and pull dynamic, and it's very unhealthy for me. I want to break this contact for several reasons. Based on earlier attempts, likely one of us will try to contact the other. Know that if I do this, it's only because my nerve system is getting restless and I want my shot of dopamine. And although I will think and I will tell you that I miss you, know that I want out of this, but I want to calm my addicted brain, and I'm using you as an object as you are using me as an object. Thank you, Alain Robarge. This way, you take out all the romance, all the sexiness, all the we are soulmates, and you cut it down to what it actually is. You take out the you make it less attractive to keep doing this, to keep saying, oh, I'm back again, oh, you're back again, oh, this is so romantic, we're soulmates, oh, we can live with each other. You take out the romance in this and you make it far less attractive to keep on doing this. And also, it's super true. It's also very true. So please comment in which category are you, and do you think that you will send a message like that? Remember, protection against limerence is living in integrity, and I always talk about this. Being out of integrity makes us very vulnerable for limerence, and sending a text like this is very mature and very healthy, and I hope you will all send your healthy text. I have some questions, and then I have a letter for you. I appreciate your response. Why my mind sees this is a bit pathetic to reach out just to say, hey, I'm not going to contact you anymore after he made it clear he doesn't want me to contact anyway. Of course, If the contact is already broken, if your hello already expressed, I don't want to have contact with you, of course, then you don't have to do this. Then you decide this or write this for yourself. But if you are in this dynamic where sometimes they pop out and sometimes they come back, and there wasn't really a moment for that you decided that you're not going to have contact anymore, so this is still kind of hanging in the air, and they can pop in any minute, and sometimes that's after a week, sometimes that's after 2 days, sometimes that's after a month, then by all means take control and send this message. What do you care if you come across as pathetic? You don't care. Well, you do care, but you shouldn't care. Of course, if hello already stated to you, I don't want to contact anymore, there's no need for you to say, hey, I'm not going to contact you anymore. Okay. My husband and his hello are both married, and they got caught 9 months ago. They relapsed and are not willing to leave the spouses and want to save their marriage. Okay, but are addicted to each other. They have known each other 15 years and work often together. They no longer work at the same time. My husband said he's no longer going to text her. He loves his wife and he's moving on, and that he went and texted her a month after that. She agreed it had to be over, but then when he texted her, she was reciprocity. She was in reciprocity. I'm so sorry this happened to you, Maria. I'm so sorry. Of course, you need to want to get out of this when you send this text. And I really hope your husband wants to get out of this, and send a text like this. Maybe number 3, even if you want to burn the bridge, if you want to get out of this. I hope your husband will send her a text, because this is a way to get out of the push and pull and the pulling each other in a dynamic. But of course, he has to want it. He has to want it. Okay, I have a letter. If you have questions for me. Okay, one more thing. I found out my hello has a thing for narcissistic people. Why do people fall for narcissistic people? What does it say about the hello itself? Well, of course, I cannot really. Yes, this is live. You're live. I cannot really answer that in general, but I mean, people who are narcissistic, who have a narcissistic personality disorder, are very traumatized people. And unfortunately, trauma attracts trauma. It's not fair, but that's how it works. Why we are attracted to narcissistic people is because of they, beside the fact that they can be extremely charming, and sometimes they have really developed skills. They practice being charming and being sometimes pleasing and reading people. They practice this like crazy, so they tend to have certain charm. But it's also because of the unpredictableness in the character that makes us more prone to become limerent for people who are narcissists, because they give us something on an unpredictable scale. They're very unpredictable. They can get angry, they can get very charming. You don't know how they're going to react. So that's one of the reasons why we tend to fall for narcissistic people. I have no contact, but I'm still in a kind of addiction. Well, that's going to take a while. Of course, if you decide to go no contact and you're in your grief phase or the aftermath or whatever you want to call it, it's not like, oh, boom, the limerence is over. But please don't feed the limerence. Don't look at pictures. Don't, dream away with music that you used to listen together. Don't read old text messages, and don't actively fantasize. And with that, I mean, don't go in lay in your bed, withdraw from life, and decide to go fantasize you running on the beach together, both in white clothes and holding hands, etc. But it doesn't mean that the addiction is gone. The thinking will continue, the hoping will continue, the bargaining will continue. That's not something you have control over. Just do as much as you can to not feed deliverance. I already forced closure for myself. I have been proactive. Yay! I was just curious what your advice would be. Writing letter for myself would not have helped. Let me see what you referring. How to say goodbye to famous aloe. Well, have you, you know, grief. And it takes time. It takes time. The first concert I had a meet and greet. The second concert I gave him a gift with a letter in it. Like I said, there's no difference for your body between a one-sided normal love. I'm using a lot of figures here, or the parasocial relationship when you are in love with a celebrity. It works the same. It takes time. It takes time for your brain to let them go, for your nervous system to calm down, for your hormones to regulate, to rewire, to grieve and to let go of someone. It takes a lot of time, and it always takes longer than we have the patience for. It took me 2.5 years. And I thought in the beginning, after when I went no contact, oh yeah, 3 months I'm going to be running around being completely happy. Boy, was I wrong. I am completely happy, by the way, but it took a little bit longer. Okay. Did my worst mistake ever and met him again a few months ago, and the limerence became back 10 times worse, and now I'm in number 2. Oh, I'm so sorry. 2.5 years, yeah. I'm so sorry for you, Pink May Ken. I'm so sorry. I have a letter that kind of describes the same situation that you just wrote about, showing you that we have receptors, and all my clients want to know, Fenna, okay, I want to get out of the limerence. I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to feel bad anymore. I don't want to cry all day, but I do want to keep in contact. Now, how do I do that? And I say, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't. Every alcoholic wants to be a social drinker, but you can't. You have receptors for this person. I'm going to share this letter also on the subject, and then I will get back to you and answer all your questions. Hi, Fenna. It's been 6 months when I emailed you. I followed your advice and went no contact. Yay! It really worked. Yes, it works, absolutely. I had more headspace for my marriage. I hardly thought about her. But at one point, I sent her a message for her birthday. It was just one sentence. Uh-oh. She reacted enthusiastic and quick. Before I knew it, I was sucked back in the limerence. Yes, because we have receptors, and maybe they're sleeping, maybe they're not active, but they're still there and they're waiting to spike up again. But I followed another advice. I asked for clarity. Yes, oh, I'm so happy you did that. Please, if you are in a situationship and you want to know if this is going somewhere, the fastest and easiest way is to ask them. I made videos about them. Why don't we ask them? Why do we tiptoe around? Because we're afraid of the answer, which is an answer, by the way. Ask for clarity. I asked her what she wanted with her contact, and she responded like I thought she would. That she didn't know. She wasn't sure. Thank you, Cece. She wasn't sure. Okay. When somebody responds that to you, then it's kind of time to walk away and say, okay, that's not the kind of contact I want. I mean, if you don't know what you want from me, bye. But I understand that's hard. I told her, good for you, that I would not contact her anymore and I would not bother her. Good for you, by the way. You could have left, I will not bother you anymore, because I mean, this is a two-way street, right? I mean, she was also bothering you. Okay. After I followed more of your advice, I started to do volunteer work, exercise, and see my friends more, and I slowly started to forget about her. I'm so happy to read this. Having a fulfilling life is a big protection against limerence, and volunteer work is super fulfilling. So, yay, thank you for following my advice. But, okay, there's a but. But then I posted something in a group app and I saw to say goodbye to everyone or to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I could see that she had looked. I started posting more and more, at least once per week, and I saw that she looked, and it felt so good, and I felt connected. Thank you, Ashuro. Aushiro, thank you. And I felt so connected again, and sometimes even happy. And then she stopped. Oh, now I feel miserable again. I know it will be better to delete her number, but I don't want to upset her. I even feel some fear for her. I'm back at square one. I hope I will have the strength to get out of this, but I keep hoping. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Okay, hear me out. First of all, you have proof that you are feeling better and you will do better again without the contact and without this person. You already have the proof. So use this proof. Hey, I felt better when I was in no contact. So I'm going to feel better again when I'm going no contact again. You have the proof. So use the proof. We can also safely say that this is not about her. I mean, you haven't seen this, it sounds like you haven't seen this person in ages, and there's not really a lot of quality in this contact. This is all about your dopamine addiction. You're chasing something we don't have. And of course, you can delete her number. I would suggest message number 2 if you want to explain why you delete her number and if you don't want to upset her. But I mean, why are we all so incredibly loyal to our LOs? It's not like it doesn't seem like she's going to be crying in bed for 6 months because you deleted her number. She doesn't even know what kind of contact she wants, and you're suffering. You have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to protect yourself. So let's all quit being so incredibly loyal to our LOs who are not always, most of the time, they're not so incredibly loyal to us. A mature, clear, honest message that you wish her well, but the contact is not good for you. It's completely transparent, it's mature, it's also true. So I hope you all grant yourself to take control, take your life back. And it's not like you're getting a lot of quality out of this contact. This is like smoking. You get nothing from smoking except the withdrawal relief. It's not like you have this really deep conversations and you go to, I don't know, theme parks every month and you bring each other soup when you're sick. The only contact you have is that she presses a like button when you post something in general. That's the only contact. There's no quality of contact. So this is like smoking. We only smoke not to get in withdrawal. You're only in contact because you don't want to feel the withdrawal. But I really hope that you will send her this healthy goodbye text and then we walk away. We endure the pain until it gets better. We endure the pain as long as it takes, and then we're out, and life is so much better after on the other side of the limits. Think about this metaphor. We only smoke because we won't want to get in withdrawal, and we think that the smoke. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I smoked for 60,000 years. I don't anymore. We only smoke to not feel the withdrawal. We think that the cigarettes bring us something. They bring us calmness and we need them and they're kind of our friends. But we think that they bring us something like some sort of happiness. They don't. All they do is just, postpone the withdrawal. It's the same with LO. they don't, in general, they don't bring us that much that we can justify keeping them around, justify that we're not being happy, justify that this brings us more happiness with them in our lives, because it's just not true. We use them as object, not to get in withdrawal. Okay. I am already 2 years, 3 months since she broke up. It feels like the longing and sadness will remain with me. Unfortunately, 2 years and 3 months sometimes is just not enough time to be completely out of it. But the statistics, it's very rare that this will stay with you for the rest of your life, even though it's been 2 years, because it takes a long time. But we all have neuroplasticity, means that your brain will reshape and reshape and reshape until the feelings will be gone and the longing will come to an end. But sometimes 2 years, unfortunately, is just not long enough. We just keep going. It just needs more time. I promise you, in 10 years, you'll feel different, and also before 10 years. Okay, any advice on dealing with the aftermath shame? I feel like I want to fix this broken relationship just so I don't feel so stupid to keep fighting for someone who made it clear is not interested. Advice on dealing with the aftermath. I feel like I want to fix this broken relationship. Yeah, sometimes we just have to accept that there's no healthy, clean closure. Sometimes we just have to accept and give a lot of compassion to ourselves that we were in an altered state. Being in limerence means you are in an altered state. That means that you are thinking, acting, and feeling differently than you normally do. And yes, we do crazy things. I wanted to say shit, but I'm not saying that, manager. We do crazy things when we're in an altered state. That's what we do. That's our common humanity. We all behave differently when we are in grief, when we are in love, when we are in panic, when we are in fear. We behave differently. So give yourself a lot of compassion and stop struggling in the quicksand trying to fix this. Accept that there is no clean cut, no clean end, no healthy, closure, that this is it. And maybe we made a mess. And we have to give a lot of compassion to ourselves because we were in this altered state. Um, I've seen clients who say, okay, I'm going to write them again my apologies. I'm going to write them an apology letter. I'm going to write them a letter to, make it. And I'm like, please don't. All you do is feeding the limerence. Sometimes we just lick our wounds and we pick up from what it is, and there is no 60,000 years. Well, it felt like 60,000 years that I smoked. Yeah. 5 years now. I can't believe it myself. Unfortunately, grief can take a really long time, much longer than we have the patience for, much longer than we expected, much longer than we can bear. But it is what it is. I remember wanting to bang my head against the wall after a year because I thought that in 3 months I would be out and my life would be, I would be jumping with joy. And I had this pain with me and it took years, but it worked. No contact works, people. It does work. Okay. The rest of my life? Of course not. Of course not. That's not how our brain works. We will not be addicted for the rest of our life. But you have to make the decision one time that you want to get out, that you had enough, and maybe send this goodbye text. On Instagram and stopped reaching on his post. I wish everybody a lot of success with ending the limerence because it's a terrible thing and that controls your life. I have done system therapy. It helped. I'm so tempted to text him sometimes too. I even dreamed about it. It will keep you in. It will keep you in the limerence. You know that. What is important to know? Last thing. What is important to know is that dopamine, where we're so addicted to, only makes us chase, because dopamine is never satisfied in the here and now. Never. That's not the role of dopamine. So even if you would get a low, you would be disappointed and it would not fix everything. But that's the bias we have. I have a community here. I also do one-on-one coaching if you want my help. And for now, I want to thank you for watching this video. And I'm going to be back with another live stream next week. And if you have questions for me, please collect them for next week. And also if you have a subject, because I have not decided yet which subject I'm going to use for my next video next week. Write your text. Bye-bye.